Hi there, and welcome to my walkthrough of my digital planner called Rosethorne Manor. So, as you can see right here, I've already imported it into my GoodNotes app, and I am going to go ahead and just open it up. And I'm going to show you the very first thing that you're going to see when you open this planner up is the 8 different pages that you can use as cover pages. And if you want to use a different one, um, it did not mean to do that. You can just drag one up, and the drag and drop with this is a little tricky. There we go. All right. And then when you go back to your home screen, it's going to change to that cover. And that's just in case you're new to digital planning and you don't really know that about that. Now you can navigate this by either going up here or you can swipe, and that way you will end up at your index page because the covers themselves are not hyperlinked. I mean, typically when you're using a digital planner, the cover just kind of serves as the icon, um, the visual cue, if you will, for what it is, what the document is. Because usually when you open things in GoodNotes, it will go right to the page you're at. All right, and a little bit about how I designed this planner. As you can see, it's pretty minimalistic, and I did this on purpose. I did this because I think digital planners have gotten to be way too overloaded, way too busy. So I wanted to go for something that was simple, that wouldn't mentally fatigue people, and, because your mind and the visual processing that you have to use every day, I mean, you can actually get visual and mental fatigue from having to look and process so many different things. I mean, I know I do. Maybe it's just a me problem, but I wanted to make this very natural looking, very botanical, and kind of like natural notebook. Like you can see, I put the parchment paper as the background. I actually used a paper texture I had in Procreate to create this and just imported it into Publisher. And these brush strokes I was actually able to create in Publisher because it has vector brushes. But, I just wanted it to look kind of old school, like a book that you would just pull off the shelf of a library, kind of as much as natural and as physical and real as you can make a digital planner look. I just wanted it to have like that book feel. And part of that is because I designed this planner as a part of my series, my Rosethorne Manor series, which is kind of based on green academia, even romantic academia, and just kind of like Victorian era feel. I'll show you my mood board real quick. So this was my mood board. As you can see, like this is where a lot of my color palette inspiration came from. My fonts and excuse me, my voice is getting gravelly. I watched a bunch of videos on Victorian greenhouses and different things, and I just really wanted to capture that feel for this. And you will notice this is an undated planner. The little leaves in the corners of each date box go to that particular day, of course. And these little leaves that look like they're just artwork along the side, whoops, I double tap that, along the side of the monthly are actually to go to each week. So, and of course, the corresponding leaf to that week will be right beside it. And you can click on the date boxes, and you can click on the little weekly leaves up here, the 2 week, and it just brings you back to the week that's the home page for that. All right, so the extra ornate little vine down here at the bottom of the monthly, this little guy, he actually goes to a blank layout. And I don't have extra layouts set up in this because I figure I should make it more customizable for you so that you can add whatever is actually needed for you and not be overwhelmed by a bunch of extra junk that's just gonna be a pain in the butt to navigate around. And of course, you click the little monthly layout leaf, and that goes back to this. So inside your monthly right here for this, you could add a budgeting insert, ledgers if you have anything like that, savings goals, maybe you have business aspirations that you're working towards, and you have trackers or social media trackers that you want to add in here. Content planning calendars, if you want to have like a whole separate calendar, if you have a different insert you want to use for that, you can drag it into this and put it in one of these little leaves, and you can just draw on top of this little leaf right here. Like, I could just put a money symbol if I want to represent that that leaf is to my financial layout for the month, and I don't want to see it all over, my front layout. Then I can do that, or you could do that. But anyways, let's move on to the little weeklies. Okay, so for weeklies, I did put a little habit tracker here. I tried to make it where each prompt or each layout is going to have a mental prompt, just enough mental prompt to get your mindset moving in the right direction without being too prompty, too structured, because not every structure works for everybody. So I think it's more customizable for you if I leave it at a very minimalistic style. And down here, you'll see these little weekly inserts, guys. Um, these leaves of this potted plant are actually linked to more blank layouts for the week. So each week is going to have its own little um, 5 layouts that you can access by going to these little leaves. But each one of these leaves is going to go to its own layout where you can add whatever insert works for you. Maybe you have meal planning, or you have a maybe your financial management goes down to the week, and maybe you have homeschooling or something like that. Just anything that you can, anything that your life actually needs, you can put in these little spots here, and then write the label on the leaf. And I think for yes, so GoodNuts finally added color picking. So you can pick a color of something and then write with that. And I'm going to collapse that. And then you can just write your money symbol, or what's something else? We'll just put child for childcare or something like that. And of course, my handwriting is really sloppy. And of course, you can zoom in, and you can do a lot better and just put like childcare or something like that. I don't know why you would need that for a weekly. And then we have the notes pages. Now, the notes pages, again, very simple. I wrote a little description up here. There is one page for each picture below. Duplicate and relocate the page where you want it in the planner. And for the dotted heart, I want to draw attention to the fact that I actually marked the center column, so that if you want to use this as a 2-column layout, you could do that. I feel that just a personal preference of mine is that I feel that I save more space and more paper when I write in a 2-column layout instead of trying to do this, because I find a lot of times you'll do like something like this and then you have like all this space that's wasted. Just one of my quirks, I guess, or whatever, one of my preferences. And on the notes, I also put blank pages. So you could also use this for extra layouts if you needed. Just keep in mind, it won't be hyperlinked wherever you move. You'll just have to like swipe to access it. Let's say you duplicate that page and then you move it to like a weekly, and you have it maybe behind this one, and you would just have to swipe and access it if you tuck it behind that layout. And I put square grid. I think this can be really good for dragging photos. I mean, I'm not going to pull up my photo library because nothing bad's in it, but just saying it could be a lot of personal stuff. Um, and then lined notebook, of course, and you can use this if you are the kind of person that likes to journal alongside your planner. You could absolutely just duplicate this page and then tuck it behind whatever month or whatever week you're journaling in. You want to say like June 11th? It's not June 11th. It's much further, but I I don't know. And just write about your day. You can also do that. All right. Well, that is going to be it for my walkthrough. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. And let me know in the comments if you'd like to see adjustments to this or if you have suggestions on what you would like to see me create when it comes to digital planners or journals in the future. Thank you so much, and you have a great day.